my mind a lot. Don't need no time watch. I don't know how I got you in my pocket spot. Yeah, that's babe, need you every day. You like my oxygen. Make it seem like the barging down. Got my heart no barging in. From the bed to the floor to the couch. Might wake the neighbors up. Break you in then break you out. In the end we gon' make a child. Then we gon' hit the shower. Part 2, break you in then. Yeah, that's every day.
And welcome back to the Rockville campus of Montgomery College for Game 2 of our doubleheader. And in this one, it's the men's half. The Montgomery College Raptors 6-2-1 on the season take on the Frederick Cougars. They come in at 3-1-2. And I am joined once again in the booth by two partners, two former Montgomery College Raptors soccer players, Sonia Rada and Andre Anderson. Sonia, welcome.
Thank you, Michael. I'm so happy to be here. We just had a great matchup with the women's game. Now we're ready for the men's.
Andre, your thoughts?
I'm excited. Under the lights, beautiful weather, soccer. What else could we ask for?
It is a beautiful night here on the Rockville campus. And as Sonia mentioned, the Raptors women won the opener of our doubleheader 2-0 on goals by Sartor and Zambrano. One in the first half, one in the second to take it 2-0. So let's meet the starters for both of our teams. The Raptors are going to be in white. Frederick will be in green. And starting for the visitors from Frederick, number 2, Marlon Melendez. Number 4, Gustavo Castro Orozco. Number 7, Farad Hadajinavat. Number 8, Elijah Reyes. Number 9, Alejandro Angulo Moreno. Number 11, Joshua Yamanzor. Number 21, Roger Diaz Beatrice. Number 24, Ryan Horning. Number 27, Brian Saar. And the keeper will be number 99, James Bolin. There's a good look at the keeper, James Bolin. The Raptors will be in white, and the starters for the Raptors, we're going to meet them. The keeper, number 1, Thomas Morrow. Number 5, Brian Newchang. Number 3, and this is a change. Number 3, Amadou Koita.
I believe that's Ono.
We have some number changes here, and we're caught a little bit off guard by that. Number 4, Ajmal Tessalimi. Number 6, Andreas De Castro Sanchez. Number 8, Joao Ribeiro. Number 11, Oliver Skinner. Number 12, Jason Guevara. Number 14, Carl Romberg. Number 20, Andreas Rojas Padilla. Number 23, one of the captains for the Raptors, Ish Graywall Singh. And those are the starters for the Raptors. Head coach for the Raptors is Pedro Braz. And head coach for Frederick is Dustin Wise. Dustin Wise is in his first season as head coach at Frederick. His assistants are Randy Jarrett and Corey Gorham. Pedro Braz is in his second stint at Montgomery College. He coached here a few years ago from 2012 through 2014. He then went on to become the head coach at Gallaudet University and then returned to the Raptors a couple of years ago. So he's in his second stint, and he just won his 100th game as head coach of Montgomery College. So congratulations to Pedro Braz. His assistants are Kareem Mumban, Scott Payne, and Isaac Mensah Yaboa. So the one number change that caught us a little bit by surprise is that Yoshiki Ono is now wearing number 3. And that's what confused us just a little bit in the pregame. So we apologize for that. Raptors in white and Frederick in green. Raptors come into this one with a record of 6-2-1. They are 6-1 in Maryland JUCO, currently in first place. And Frederick comes into this one with a record of 3-1-2. They are 2-0-1 in Maryland JUCO and in sixth place. Raptors coming off an unexpected loss on the road to the College of Southern Maryland. They lost down there 2 days ago, 2-1. And so I predict we're going to see a very hungry Raptors team here today, Andre.
Yeah, I wouldn't want hungry Raptors coming after me because, that was a bad dinosaur joke. But anyways, A
for effort.
Yeah. But, anytime a team comes off of a loss, you know for a fact that they're going to be coming basically full throttle to take on the next team and win. And you're seeing on the screen right here, Carl Romberg is the number 1 goal scorer in the NJCAA and also the number 1 points leader as well. And he is looking to continue that and score more goals today.
Well, that's the guy they're going to want to get the ball to, and he's a very dangerous player. He's from Germany. The Raptors have a very international roster, which given the makeup of the college with over 150 countries represented, is not surprising. So we're off. It's always a good match when the Raptors play Frederick. Last year, they gave the Raptors everything they wanted. They lost to the Raptors 3-2 in overtime. And, of course, the Raptors went on to win Maryland JUCO, win Region 20. They won the districts, and then they advanced to the national championship. So Raptors had a tremendous year last year.
Oh, already out the gate offside. But MC, they're putting on the pressure.
Yeah, they came out strong, very intense from the get-go.
Yeah, I like the speed that they're playing with. High-level soccer, moving the ball quick on the ground especially.
Well,
Can't get enough of that.
Bolin is an excellent keeper he is first in Maryland JUCO in goals against average and first in Maryland JUCO in save percentage. But the Raptors have an excellent keeper as well, Thomas Morrow. He's also right up there in the Maryland JUCO standings in several key categories. So we've got 2 excellent keepers going at it tonight. So we're underway. Earlier this week, Frederick lost earlier this week to Nova, Northern Virginia, 2-1. So both teams coming off a loss. So both teams obviously want to win. Raptors are also currently number 19 in the country.
Love to see that.
In the NJCAA Division I rankings.
Yeah, you love to see that. I know the players are definitely excited to be in the top 20. They want to move up in the ranking, of course, but this is just the start. I mean, nationally ranked, that's a very big deal.
Well, of course, they had a great season last year. Made it to the national championship tournament in Florida. It's a far cry from where you played your national championship, Andre, when you were playing for the Raptors.
Yeah, Utica, New York. Cold.
Freezing, not just
yeah,
cold.
Yeah. Wrong adjective.
Yeah,
Freezing.
Cold really
you need
doesn't.
to describe how cold it is up there in the fall.
Yeah, I always bring up the time that we played our first game. I believe we won 4-1 or so.
There's a shot. Oh, nice stop by Morrow. That was dangerous.
Yeah, but we won about 4-1 or so, and after the game's over, I run onto the bus because I'm so cold, and then I get told from the players that, hey, Mr. Michael Brown wants to interview you. So I had to run back off the bus and back onto the field in the cold.
It was the world's quickest interview. There's a great opportunity.
And a goal.
And a goal.
There we go. Oliver Skinner up top.
Oliver Skinner with the goal for the Raptors.
That's a great start for the Raptors, especially coming off of a loss. It's so important to get that confidence, get that first goal in. It's been less than 5 minutes, so that's a great start. I'm sure Coach Braz will be very pleased with that.
Well, that's Skinner's 5th goal of the season. To go along with an assist. He is second on the team now. He was tied for second with Paulo Perez, but with that one he moves into sole possession of second on the team in scoring with 5 goals. Of course, Carl Romberg, who Andre mentioned just a bit earlier, leading the team and the nation with 14. Oliver Skinner is from England. As we said, this is a very international roster, which is appropriate for Montgomery College. So it doesn't even take 5 minutes, and the Raptors are on the board.
It's exactly how you want to start a game. And a nice crowd here as well. The SGA, the student government bodies here as well, giving out free food, doing some giveaways and things like that. So, there's a little bit more to play for as well when you have your friends and family in the stands.
Well, and it's fun. I know you guys, as former players, have always heard that playing under the lights is kind of a special treat.
Yeah, there's nothing like it, especially, you can see right now the sun is setting, and now with this incredible facility that Montgomery College has built, there can actually be night games, because when we were here, there was no playing at night.
No, not here. Maybe on the road, but not here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And it's great because now you're able to have, the SGA is able to have these events. There's quite a few people out here, and it just creates a nice atmosphere.
It really does. It's great for school spirit. Creates a lot of camaraderie within the school. Of course, soccer, certainly, if not the most popular sport on campus, certainly right up there. Again, Montgomery College is so diverse with over 150 countries represented. And, soccer is the world's game.
I heard somewhere that Montgomery College is the most diverse community college in the country.
It is certainly, if not the, certainly among the, I would say certainly in the top 10. And Raptors on the attack again. It's Skinner. And throw in for the Raptors.
Good cross. And
another goal.
Oh, wow.
And Ono.
Yoski from
He
Japan.
heads it in.
What a goal.
That was a pretty goal.
It was. The pressure is on. This is exactly how they want to come, start this game. Here's a replay. What a header.
Beautiful header.
That's not just a goal. You know what we call that? A golazo.
Golazo. There you go. Let me hear one, Mr. Brown. Let me hear one. Golazo. There we go.
Golazo.
There we go.
He got some height on that, too.
He did. It was a great pass. Great assist.
Hungry rappers they are.
Yes.
You weren't kidding.
My attempt of the Raptors joke at the beginning, it worked. I just got to clean it up a little bit.
Only one could be successful, so good thing your joke was not, and now the Raptors are successful.
There we go. I'll take that.
They're not done. They're not satisfied with just 2, obviously.
And I can only imagine the speech that they got from Coach Pedro after that loss. So this is probably to show him, like, hey, Coach, we're still here. We still have the hunger. We still have the fight. We want this.
And you had to know, Andre, you played for Pedro.
Oh, I know.
His first season here, correct?
Second.
Second season.
Yeah, his second season was my season I played in. Yeah, he's very top coach. But he expects, top level. What a ball. Oh, my
That's a great
Oh, my goodness. Look at this.
Oh, dropped.
That could have been a foul.
Yeah, if he fell, that would have been a foul. But, yeah, he expects the highest level at all times.
Well done. Raptors are really playing well at the moment.
Great defense.
Yeah,
well done, Brian.
By Brian.
Brian Newchang.
The captain. One of 2 captains.
He and Ish Singh are the 2 captains for the Raptors. Again, this is a heavily, as with the women's team, this is a heavily freshman team. Raptors only had 6 returners from last year's national championship contender. A lot of turnover, and it takes a while for the players to mesh. And there's a foul.
That could be a card, or not.
Sometimes, maybe later on in the second half that might be a card, but I think sometimes the refs, they don't want to ruin the game, because if you pull out your cards too early, then if the same player commits another maybe harsher foul in the second half or later on in the first half, then they're forced to give him a second yellow, and that changes the game. So a lot of times refs try to hold on to that one when it's early on.
They may say something to them when they...
Exactly. Give them some type of warning.
There's a nice attempt there by Ono, who's already looking for his second goal. So it's early, but Frederick is already got their backs against the wall a little bit, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 2-0 down, real early in. The pressure is on. They're going to have to pick it up a little bit, or this could be a long night for them.
There's only one good thing about getting scored on early.
What is that? I need to hear this one.
It's that you have the rest of the game to try to score.
Very true.
Well, their goals against average is 2, even. They, as an offense, they average 3.83 per match. 23 goals so far this season.
Offsides for Ono.
Raptors, on the other hand, have scored 36 goals this year for an average of 4 goals per match. And their goals against average is 1.56. Raptors are averaging 17, almost 18 shots a match, whereas Frederick averages just about 16 shots a match. So far, it's been all Montgomery College. Another great through ball. In case you're joining us late, the Raptors women won the opener, shutting out Frederick 2-0. Scored a goal in each half. We're never really threatened.
No, the game was dominated by MC from the beginning basically to the end. I mean, they played a really good game. From the beginning, they were pressing high. Sonia made really good points about how, they're basically stepping up. They were pressing from the beginning. But it was a good game by the women. What do you think, Sonia?
Yeah, I think that they handled the game well. They definitely came out strong to start. It kind of mellowed down in the beginning of the second half. I thought Frederick came out a little stronger after the half. But then getting that second goal in the PK, I think definitely helped them close out the game.
And their back line played great, and their passing was very sharp, I thought.
It was.
Another great tackle.
New Chang. He is he's one of the leaders back there. Raptors, Pedro Braz's teams are always known. This is gonna, he saved it. Good job there by
Orozco. You want to give that one a shot? Orozco.
I was going to. I just couldn't read it. I didn't have my readers on. That's what happened to these, old guys like me.
When you remember the days with no electricity?
What a throw-in by Jason Guevara.
That was almost at the goal.
I know. It was almost like a corner kick. The Raptors are down there in scoring position again. They are really putting the pressure on. They've got 8 players up.
Sonia, how do you feel when, you're playing, your team is up 2-0 early? Do you want to continue to put on the pressure? Do you want to, possess the ball a little bit more, move it around, knock it around? Like, what is your game plan at a point like this if you're a coach talking to your team?
In my opinion, you never want to take your foot off the gas pedal, right? You always want to continue to score if you can. But I think it also takes a lot of maturity and to understand the type of game that you're in, right? The game is long, so going at a high speed for the entire 90 minutes is unrealistic. So I think you need to be a little bit smarter. Obviously, you're already up, but that gives you an opportunity, like you said, possess the ball a little bit more, maybe kind of wear out the opponent, right? They might be a little bit mentally worn out because they're down 2-0, but you just want to continue to maybe pushing the gas pedal can also mean wearing them out physically. So kind of a balance between that, but yeah, always looking to continue scoring.
Making them chase.
Yeah, exactly. And then that can cause frustration too for the other team if they can't find, if they can't find the ball, if they can't possess the ball, it's frustrating. So.
Yeah, we saw that during the Bicky tournament that certain teams would just they spent the entire match chasing. And
that's not fun.
Not at all.
I'm thinking in particular the Monroe-Hartford game on the first day of the tournament.
Yeah.
Hartford was chasing for 90 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like. It's
tiring, like it literally becomes, as we used to say, it's like a track meet. Like you're just running, like you're, at a track event, and it gets tiring. And the thing about soccer is when that fatigue sets in, it's a lot harder for you to do the things, the fundamentals. So. Also,
soccer players aren't always the biggest fans of running.
Yeah.
I know we run a lot in the games, but there's a reason we play soccer and not run track. So. when you have the ball, you don't notice how much you're running. But when you don't have it, you really start to realize that you've been chasing.
And, of course, a certain amount of frustration creeps in when you're doing a lot of chasing.
Mm-hmm.
This is Frederick's longest visit to their offensive end so far today. Raptors have totally dominated.
Yeah, I'd like to see them get on the ball a bit more, and I'd also like to see them find Carl Romberg, number 14. I don't think he's touched the ball once yet.
I don't believe so, because
No, he's touched it. I saw it.
the assist was by Skinner on the header by Ono.
Yeah. I mean, get him on the ball. I know he wants to keep, scoring goals and adding to his tally of being the number one scorer in the nation. So I like to see him on the ball a bit more, and also for them to kind of hold on to it as Frederick's applying a lot more pressure right now.
Here's the thing, though. I'm going to point something out, is that when you're drawing that much attention, I can guarantee you that everybody on Frederick knows who Carl Romberg is.
Oh, of course,
And
of course.
As you can see right now, they're going to have eyes on him the whole time. And so this is why it's important that Montgomery has already scored from 2 other options and showing their versatility, because if you just have one player that's doing not necessarily doing everything but putting the goals in, then it kind of limits you as a team.
Of course.
So sometimes maybe he hasn't gotten the ball as much as because other team could be double teaming him, could just be putting more attention on him.
Yeah, making sure he's got a man on him.
Exactly.
At all times.
So sometimes your teammate, that's the moments when your teammates have to come up, and Montgomery has done that so far.
And so far,
there
he goes right there.
Oh, beautiful.
It's those pockets, It's like he may be getting, say, shadowed or like man marked, but it's that like 3-step check away, quick check to the ball, and even just like that one little like give and go, knock it in, and then you just like kind of curl around the defender, then you get the ball back in, and then you just play it just so we can get some touches on the ball to feel like he's in the game. Little things like that. But the team is solid. I mean, everyone can play on MC, so like you said, it's really nice to see goals coming from all over the place, the movement.
And that'll be a throw-in for the Raptors.
Good hit. Oh! Wow.
Great save by Bowling.
What a save.
And that's James Bolin, who we talked about. He's just a freshman from Seneca Valley High School.
And here's a replay actually right here. Look at this left-footed strike.
That was going in.
Amazing.
That was on frame. That was gonna go in.
Yeah, that was Jason Guevara.
And as a left-footed player myself, I love that. I love seeing that.
Jason is a defender normally.
Good ball. Oh!
Oh,
Goal!
there he
And
is.
look who.
It
Oh,
didn't
I was about to
count.
say, look who it is.
Yeah.
And that is a goal.
I wonder if the first touch was off or Carl was off.
No, they called it no goal.
Right, but there was a little bit of a mishit the first touch.
Yeah, if Carl was off, or
Let's
here's
take
the
a
replay
look.
right
Here we go.
There's Ono's center.
It's hard to tell from that angle.
Not sure what happened there. What do you guys think?
One of the 2 players was offside. But I'm not sure what I was trying to get at, if it was the first player that touched it. I believe that was Oliver Skinner, or if it was Carl Romberg. Either way, it didn't count. So.
Nope. Romberg wanted that one. That would have been number 15 on the season. More importantly, would have put the Raptors up 3-0. Thomas Morrow for the Raptors in net has really only had one bit of action, made one nice save, but pretty much had the half off up to this point. Got a lot of time left. Guevara runs it down. Battle. Good look at Guevara.
Good movement. Oh, that was a good try with the through ball.
That was a pretty pass.
You know, and despite the score line, both teams are playing well. It's a fun match to watch so far.
It is. I love the high intensity. That's one of my favorite things about the sport, when both teams are going. Oh wow, that's clean. But when both teams are really going at it, pinging the ball really quickly, the long sprints and things like that. It really makes the game exciting. So even though the score is 2-0, Frederick can get right back into this thing with a quick goal.
I agree with the referee. No call on that one.
Close though, right?
The defender is just using his body. I didn't see, he didn't clip him with his foot or anything. I think.
Good call then.
Yeah, good no call.
Yeah.
It's almost like if the referee calls that, what are you supposed to do as a defender? So
yeah,
I'm okay with that.
Well, I'm sitting between two defenders. So I'm not saying there's bias there, but the fact of the matter is that both of these players were both captains when they played for the Raptors, and they were defenders.
It's one of those things. It's like, hey, ref, let us play. Come on,
I didn't touch him.
Yeah. Why call a foul? Like, let us play. So.
And in my opinion, two of the best players that I've ever seen. So
that was a tough blow to his head.
Ooh.
Look at Jason Guevara with the flashy boots.
I like those.
Is that thing recording? No, it's live though.
That's Marlon Melendez for
hopefully.
Frederick.
Hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, let's hope he's all right.
Give him a nice round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Nice to see him getting back up on his feet.
Yeah, that's good.
That's not a nice round of applause.
Those are the types of hits from the ball that makes your face feel like it can't be.
He's going to come out.
That could have been me laying on the ground.
Marlon Melendez, he's a freshman out of Frederick. Went to Frederick High School. Frederick right up the road, longtime rival of Montgomery College in basically every sport that the two compete against each other in.
It seems like we have a lot of rivals. Because now I'm thinking about it, you got Frederick, PG, Hartford.
Howard was always a rival when I was there.
Howard.
Everyone's a rival.
Well, I believe we are the largest school, and maybe someone in the truck who knows more than I do can correct me, but I believe Montgomery College is the largest school in Maryland JUCO, and everybody likes to, we're like the Yankees. Everybody likes to knock off the big boys.
Very true.
And of course, there's been a sustained period of athletic excellence here under athletic director Carla Gasquet, who also serves as the head coach for the women's basketball team. So,
Basketball season coming up. They're looking forward to another successful year.
volleyball is well underway. As a matter of fact, tomorrow we will be, MCTV will be bringing you volleyball live from the Rockville campus, a 4 o'clock match. There you see the matchup, the Montgomery College Raptors taking on the Monroe College Mustangs from Bronx, New York. And, for a team that's not in Maryland JUCO, Monroe is becoming a rival for Montgomery College.
Yeah, they are as well.
We've had some epic soccer battles against them. Now we're starting to play them in other sports as well. Volleyball actually did play them last year in a tournament, a tri-match, not at home.
And if you guys, anybody listening wants to watch that volleyball match tomorrow or any other sport matches, you can go to MCTV, or actually on all social media platforms it would be MCTV Social. So at MCTV Social, and you can see all the sports games that we live stream, along with all the content that we do for Montgomery College, marketing pieces, student life pieces, athletic pieces,
Arts,
you name it, arts,
entertainment,
music. What am I missing?
Just all kinds of things.
Everything. So
a lot of student-oriented programming.
Exactly. Yep. So at MCTV Social to see everything that's going on socially at Montgomery College.
Let's have some fun. 15, 27.
Did we miss a yellow card while we
We did
were?
miss a yellow card on Brian Sarr for Frederick, number 27.
Okay, so he has the yellow.
There we go.
Another yellow, and he would be disqualified from the game.
The referee couldn't hold back on that one. That was a very obvious yellow card. What we call a professional foul. Because Montgomery was about to head into a counterattack, and he pulled the jersey of the Montgomery player.
One of those.
One of those, yes.
Ooh. Another card. Now the game's getting a bit chippy here.
Yeah. Another card. And looks like this one's going to be on Elijah Reyes, number 8. That's 2 quick yellows.
Oh my goodness. Didn't even get the ball.
Wow. That was...
You can't say I didn't touch him on that one.
And quite a size difference there between the two players as well. Ono is a rather slight player, and Reyes is built like a mini tank.
I think that's one of the beautiful things about soccer, though, that the size, you can be tall, you can be short, you can be thinner, you can be more muscular, and everybody can play in their own style and still bring something to the game.
Very true.
Well, for example, height is a great asset both on the back line and for the forwards. I mean, but you've seen many excellent tall defenders here at Montgomery College over the years. Brian Nuchang being one. He's a good-sized young man.
We want to bring up Messi again.
Oh, yeah.
5'7". I had to do it.
Is he 5'7" though?
I think he's 5'7", yeah.
5'7".
So the greatest player in the world right now, Lionel Messi, is 5'7".
Hold on, I have to stop you there. It's not right now.
I was
the
going to start
greatest
the argument,
player
but I guess there is
ever.
no argument. Yeah. I was going to do the Messi or Ronaldo, but
Oh, no.
that is
let's
no
not get
longer a
into
thing.
Pele is no longer in the discussion.
I mean, yes, he's amazing too. But basically, we just can't say right now
Right.
because it's not just right now.
He's a generational player for sure.
Lifetime, yeah. He did it, man. He's that guy. But yeah, man. You see a player like Messi, for instance, 5'7", smaller, slighter build guy. Then you see arguably the second best player of all time, Cristiano Ronaldo, who's maybe 6'2", 6'1", 6'3", a lot more stronger, a lot more powerful of a player. They're the complete opposites in stature and build, but number 1 and 2.
Both
Who's the
incredible
best?
players, yeah.
You battle it out with whoever you think, but it's great.
That's a great job.
Excellent. Oh, the Raptors with a nice.
Good block.
Yeah, that was a good defensive play there by Frederick. Raptors were knocking on the door again for goal number 3. Luchang coming up. That's some aggressive play there by defender. He puts the Raptors right back down there. Look at that footwork.
Is that 3 or 4? Step over.
Daniel Minhas with the fancy footwork.
Nuchang walks back.
Oh, there you go.
That's one of the best things when you, as a center back, you get on that run.
Yep.
And he stayed up there for a little bit, but then the ball doesn't come back again, and you have to make that run. Oh man. I guess I'll go back.
It was so much fun being up here. Good look at James Boland, keeper. You can't miss him with that outfit on.
I love how normal it is seeing not just men, but athletes in pink. I love it.
Well, I happen to know, Sonia, that is one of your favorite colors.
I wasn't going to say that, but yes, it's my favorite color.
Whenever I would watch Sonia play over the years, when I saw the pink headband, I knew she was out there.
Yep, that's me.
Yes, sir, 12. Get on that 12. Yes, sir. Go for it. 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 Go for it.
And look wow. Just missed. Oh no, almost had number 2 on the night. I thought the Raptors were playing just a little bit of chase there, and it almost turned into something.
And here's the replay.
That's a great ball in.
It was a great ball.
Oh no, with almost his boy, he just missed that. That's almost his second header of the day.
That was Jason Guevara putting that ball in, and that's exactly where you want one of those diagonal crosses in, because it causes confusion. The goalie doesn't know whether to come out because it's in that in-between, right behind the back line, so it causes confusion, and you could see it there when it almost got past him.
Yeah, that hesitation is sometimes all these players need, just that split second, a little bit of space.
Good job by Brian. Just closing that space down, but not overcommitting to where he can
You gotta be kidding me, bro. No. Hold on, 15. Wait, track.
Ish. Oh, sorry.
Morrow's had a nice, easy night so far. He's not complaining.
I wanted to point out that Ish Singh is also having a very good game.
Yeah, the back line has been very solid for the Raptors.
And they seem to have good chemistry as well.
Well, they are two of the returning players, and they're both captains. There's a good look at Ish.
The ref has gotten card happy.
Yeah, I know. You get a card. You get a card. It's like an Oprah Winfrey
Cards
show.
for everyone. Now, who picked up that card? Ish?
I believe it was Ish.
Yeah, Ish picked up the card there. It was a late tackle. It was from behind, right outside the box. Not the best foul to give up, but
This is a perfect angle for a left-footed shooter.
you know, I would like it to be a little further back.
Towards the corner.
No, like just a little more off the box.
Oh, okay.
Because for me to like get it up and over the wall, not saying that I would necessarily get it up and over the wall, but you know, in retrospect, it gives you a little more space.
A little fancy dancy there. Did not work out. As number 21, Beatrice faked it, and then Moreno took it, but Morrow easily gathered it in.
Oh, another
There's
card. Here we go.
Another one.
Comes another card. Yep. On number 21, Beatrice, who we just talked about.
The SGA is giving away free shirts, and the ref is giving away free yellow cards. Seems to be a giveaway night. I wonder what we're getting.
Well, that was a legit yellow card.
One of my favorite, the commentators in Spanish, one of my favorite things that they say when the ref gives out a yellow card says, lo pintó de amarillo, which basically means that he painted him with yellow. I don't know why. That analogy just brings such a funny image to my head.
Underway. There's Lachlan Smith with the kick.
Jason Guevara's putting in some good crosses. That one was a little bit too far. It was a little bit easier for Bolin to pick up, but still whipping them in dangerously.
Joao's been solid in the middle. Number 8 from Brazil. Playing that like 6 role, which is basically like that center defensive midfield player.
There's another good ball.
Finding his pocket, breaking up plays, doing a good job.
Another shot on goal. Bolin has no problem with that one.
Well done, Bri. Again.
So we're at the 11-minute mark. 11 minutes to go in the first half. Raptors on top 2-0. Second game of our doubleheader here on MCTV. In the first game, the Raptors women take it 2-0 over Frederick. So the Raptors men looking to make it a sweep today. We're under the lights here in the brand new soccer facility on the Rockville campus of Montgomery College. Good crowd here tonight.
How many years will it still be considered brand new?
It's probably not brand new.
I still think it's brand new.
I do too, because I remember all the years when we didn't have it. And of course, you guys well remember it.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, we even went through a couple of years where they had to play off campus while this facility was under construction.
How long did it take for all this to be completed?
It was a fairly lengthy process. One of the great parts about it was that they included MCTV in the planning of it right from the beginning. So we had MCTV had a say in places where cables could run, because television is.
Good ball. He's off.
The accessibility, right?
Yeah. The accessibility for MCTV to make our job easier, the size, dimensions of the booth, camera positions, the camera bay on top of the booth. They took a lot of, we were in on the planning sessions right at the very beginning. The lighting, which was very important.
And I'd have to say the lighting here is really, really good, because sometimes with these lights at night, it almost makes it harder to see. But these ones are very bright, makes it almost impeccable.
Yeah, it's really, an excellent bit of lighting, because I'm not going to name any names, but there are a couple of stadiums in Maryland JUCO where if you play there at night, it's a little dim. It's a little dim, and it makes it tough for television and for the players. Obviously, that's the most important thing.
And you got to make sure that you can adjust the shoulder.
Or it makes it it tests your skill.
Yes.
I saw this clip once of Cristiano Ronaldo doing, for example, somebody would cross the ball, but it was indoor. And right as the ball is coming towards the goal and he needs to jump to head it, they shut the lights off and he still scores.
Oh, wow.
It's incredible.
Yeah, that man's a robot.
Man on! Little bit of time, bro.
But yeah, you don't want to test that during the game.
No.
No.
No. The Raptors backline is just doing a great job. Ibarra, boy.
Oh, another card is coming out.
He's down.
Another card. All right. This is starting to feel like everyone's picking one up. So
Yeah.
it's getting to that point where players have to be careful.
Doesn't look good for him.
No.
Hopefully it's just one of those that stings for a little bit. And
That's number
walk it
25, Oscar Valdez. That is 4 cards in the first half on Frederick. 1 on the Raptors. And the Raptors on top 2-0. Here's Ono.
I have to say, Ono's technique on the ball is very, very nice. We have a good angle from it right here. You can see the way he strikes the ball is different.
Yeah, very technical player.
Hey, Gracie.
And he is from Japan, so again, the international reach of the Raptors program is really something. Good play again, clear it.
If Ish didn't get anything on that, that was a dangerous ball.
It's Michael Light for Frederick with the throw in.
Lift your
Just over 6 minutes to go in the first half. Raptors on top by 2.
heads up.
Oh, that was pretty. That was Afisa. Addis Afisa.
Another play on.
Yeah.
Great hands by Bolin.
Excellent stop by Bolin. Raptors had something on that one.
I like the ref's decision to allow advantage because Montgomery had a promising attack going still, and the ref allowed it to continue.
Here's Great Wall singing with the ball. Ooh, that almost snuck through there.
That was unlucky.
5 minutes.
It's a good look at Daniel Menhas, number 15. Excellent camera work, as always, by the Montgomery College television production team. Pleasure to be back working with them.
I think Montgomery's doing a really good job of spreading the ball, being patient. You can see the ball isn't only, coming from one side. They switch the ball, they switch their point of attack.
There's a great variety to it, and it just feels inevitable they're going to score again.
That is not a yellow. Oh, I was about to say, okay.
It's just a foul.
Yeah, I was like, now he's getting too excited.
Don't worry.
Let's take a look. No, that's soccer.
There you go.
I mean, I think they both had a hand on each other, but it was coming from both sides. So.
Yeah, it was pretty even.
Good ball. Better. But wait, when go back. Good.
Menhas through ball. Rivera can't quite catch up with it.
Good talking there.
Last 3 minutes, yes, MC wants to score, but I would say it's honestly more important not to give up a goal at all. 'Cause, I mean, they're already winning. These are like the last, 5 to 7 minutes of each half are usually when teams are the most tired, and you're thinking about halftime and you're thinking about other things. Goals usually are given up around this time, so if they can just continue playing just like how they are, and this is a chance.
Oh, there's oh my goodness.
Keep this pressure on.
Jason Quipera wants that one back.
Well done, Brian!
New Chang went all the way up, center back.
Yeah, he's showing up for our center backs today, huh?
He wanted an assist.
Oh, he was. He was in the box. He centered it. Brian Newchang, Paint Branch High School grad.
Hey, thanks for me. I can't reach it.
So we'll take a brief break at halftime. But don't go anywhere. We'll be back with the second half. That should be a good one.
I see. Well done.
The way it started, it looked like it could get out of hand early, but Frederick has stiffened and
Well done.
Boland's made some.
That's 50-50.
That's good.
And he pulled him back there. Another yellow. Uh-oh.
I saw a pulled jersey. And who picked up that one?
Number 6.
Was that number 6? Michael Light? That's what I thought.
That's who I saw, yes.
So we have a plethora of cards here on the on Frederick. That's 5 yellows. Now that was fine. It was that
Another
you,
professional foul.
that you cannot do. So Gravera with the free kick here. Oh, he put it in a great spot. That was dangerous.
A lot of these yellow cards have been professional fouls that the Frederick players don't have any other choice but to foul, because if they let the Montgomery player go, it's a dangerous attack. They don't, they're trying to prevent a goal. They're trying to prevent a very good attack. So.
Yeah, so like a third goal here for Montgomery College would be devastating to Frederick, particularly with, just a few seconds left in the first half. That would be really take the wind out of their sails.
It really would.
Send them into the locker room not feeling too good. As it is, they're going to be, looks like they're going to be down 2-0 at the break. Got a throw in. Clock, of course, continues to run.
Mosquito just got me back here.
There's a shot, I suppose. Well, wide of the mark by number 23, Brinkley. So, after 45 minutes of play, the Raptors are on top, 2-0 on goals by Oliver Skinner and Yoshuki Ono on a header to make it 2-0. Any quick thoughts from you, Sonia or Andre, before we go take a quick break?
The pressure's been on. They played really well from the beginning. They jumped out of the gates running, firing, scored 2 really good goals. Second half, they're looking to probably, and I would expect them to do the same thing. Sonia?
Yeah, so I think that they came out, intense, and I think we could see what I was talking about. The game levels down. You can't stay, at that high intensity the whole time. So now can MC complete this game? Can they possess it? Can they really control the game and just kill it down?
All right. Well, 2-0 Raptors at the half. We're going to take a break, but stick with us. We'll be right back very soon with the second half of the match.
You on my mind a lot. Don't need no time, watch. I don't know how I got you in my pocket spot. Yeah, that's babe, need you every day. You like my oxygen. Make it seem like the barging down. Got my heart no barging in. From the bed to the floor to the couch. Might wake the neighbors up. Break you in, then break you out. In the end, we gon' make a child. Then we gon' hit the show. Part 2, we don't need no pause. Here with Misty, we gon' get tipsy. Don't need a power shot.
Copy my steel. Face the fact that ain't no cap, I'm real. Ain't no cap, I'm real. The plastic bars from a copy my steel. Copy my steel. Face the fact that ain't no cap, I'm real. Ain't no cap, I'm real. The plastic bars from a copy my steel.
Got my heart no in the bed. Break you in, then get us every day. Got my heart no in the bed. Break you in, then get us every day. This sound like Argentina. Had to fist my demeanor. They don't want me breathing. Still I rip like
And welcome back to the Rockville campus of Montgomery College. We're getting set for the second half of our second game of our doubleheader here. Michael Brown alongside my partner Sonia Rada and Andre Anderson. And let's talk a little bit about the first half. The Raptors on top 2-0. Sonia, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think the Raptors, I think they were the most dominant in the first half. There was still attack from Frederick, but I think they need to, like I said before, finish the game out. It's great that they got on top early. Whether they score more or not, they just need to finish and close out the game.
Andre?
2-0 is not enough. 3, 4, 5. I know Coach Pedro's probably shooting for 8, so as long as they come out in the second half and they keep the pressure on, they also finish the game with a clean sheet. I know that's going to be important as well, and it's important for them to get back on a winning streak.
Well, the Raptors, like we said, are on top 2-0 on goals by Oliver Skinner and also by Yoshiki Ono. And they had several other great opportunities. As we get a look at some of the crowd here tonight, there's Andre, you were telling us there's a special student government promotion going on tonight?
Yeah, I think student government was out here, and they, were giving out free food and free T-shirts and other free things as well. So anytime there's free food, I'm definitely going to be there. So I'm sure other people will be there as well.
Well, if there's one thing students love, it's free.
Of course. I do too, and I'm not a student.
So
I just think it's great that there's an atmosphere. There's a sense of community around this facility where people can come watch the teams. It just creates, little kids coming to watch both of these teams play. It gives them something to look up to, and I think that's great.
So we are just about set to get underway. We'll try to pick up the players. Nathan Booth there is ready to kick off. At the top of the screen there is number 14, Carl Romberg. As we are underway, the Raptors will be going left to right in the second half. And we have the same two keepers in there, Thomas Morrow for the Raptors and James Bolin for Frederick. Raptors women won the opener 2-0 on goals by Sartor and Zambrano.
Yeah, good win by the women Raptor team earlier. They, from the beginning, put on the pressure. They were dominant in possession. It was a fun game to watch. What do you think, Sonia?
Yeah, it was a fun game, and I think both teams, the men's and the women's, have had good performances, and hopefully we can walk out of here with the men's also having a victory.
Well, they would like nothing better, particularly after they dropped an unexpected one on Tuesday night to the College of Southern Maryland. Actually, both these teams, both Frederick men and MC men, coming in tonight after tough losses on Tuesday. Frederick lost to Nova, Northern Virginia, 2-1. And the Raptors dropped their match to Southern Maryland 2-1.
I think some of the key players that I want to point out from the first half for MC was Ono. I think he had a great impact on the game. And also number 15, Daniel Minhas, I believe.
Minhas,
Yeah.
yes.
I think he came in as a sub and had a good impact. He started the second half right now and continuing to get touches on the ball and create some danger.
Well, and I think Oliver Skinner as well. Of course, he scored the goal, and then he had the assist on the goal by Ono. And let's talk about the Raptors' back line, particularly Brian New Chang, and Ish Graywal Singh. They were very solid.
Leaders of the team, two captains, sophomore players. They lead by example by the way they play with their energy, but they also lead by their voice. Those are two players that have no problem, telling another player on their team, hey, you're not doing too well, pick it up. Or if they are, commending them, saying, hey, you did a great job, now let's keep doing that. And that's what you need on the team, especially from two of your sophomore captains. So it's looking good. So far, so good.
And having talked to those guys, they are, for their young age, they are particularly mature guys.
They are. They, both of the both students. I know Ish has a 4.0 GPA right now, and Brian has a 3.85 GPA. Both students are very good in school. On top of being very good athletes as well, and that's exactly what you want out of your student athletes in the school. So it's an awesome thing to see that these two young men playing good soccer, but also taking school very serious as well.
Well, and I think if they choose to, I think they could play at the next level, play at the 4-year level.
Oh yeah,
if they choose to. That's one thing the Raptors under Pedro Braz, head coach Pedro Braz, have been. There's a beauty.
Offside. The ref is calling offside.
Yep, offsides. But the Raptors have had great success with placing their graduating players with 4-year schools with scholarships. And after last year's great season for the Raptors, they were 16-5 overall. They won Maryland JUCO. They won Region 20. They won the districts and went on to nationals. And the Raptors placed over 10 players, more than 10 players, more than half the team went on to play at the 4-year level with scholarships.
That's outstanding. And that team was very good. I was able to follow them throughout their season last year, go to the Nationals with them as well. They didn't, get to the pinnacle and win the whole thing like they wanted to, but that's the goal this year as well. And that will be the goal every year. I know Coach Braz, and there's nothing short of winning a national championship for him to feel like a successful season. So I know that that's what he's pushing for every single day.
No, he shoots high, and he aims high, and the team, feeds off of that. And here comes another yellow card. And this one's going to be on
Number 15.
Number 15, Minhas. So we had a lot of yellow cards in the first half. The Raptors had 1. Frederick had 5. Of course, a yellow card is a dangerous thing because another yellow card and you are disqualified from the game and you can't play the next one.
That's right.
So it really hurts. So we've now got 7 players with cards, but hopefully we don't see any reds. Good look there at Thomas Morrow, the Raptors keeper. He's out of Brampton, Ontario. Raptors, as we said many times tonight, very international team.
Game's been a bit hectic in this first half. But this is what we want to see them hold on to the ball a bit, control it. They're winning, 2-0. And there's the ball.
That was by Biaggi.
Oh.
I don't know what.
Just wrong type of football right here.
That was rough. No call.
Looked like a little bit of frustration from the Frederick player.
And that, it's almost understandable. The Raptors dominated the first half, dominated possession. Frederick did a lot of chasing. Had had maybe 2 shots on goal in the first half, one of which was 15 yards wide.
Yes, at the end of the game.
Yeah.
That's sometimes my issue with the clock, because since it's not up to the ref and you can see the time winding down, so you just take you're forced to take a shot because the time will literally run out.
That one almost doesn't count
Exactly.
because it came with, a second or 2 left on the clock. They really only had the one real good opportunity, and Morrow made a good stop and kept him off the board. We have 2 of the better keepers tonight in Maryland JUCO going at it, in Morrow and Bolin for Frederick. There's a good look at Carl Romberg, talking about people with great stats. Carl Romberg is leading the nation, the NJCAA Division I, in scoring, goals, and points. He's number 1 in the country.
And this would be MC's 3rd year in a row, actually, having a player lead the nation in goals and points. MC was very fortunate to have Andres Javits for the last 2 years. An incredible player. Led the nation in goals, and actually was also in top 5 in assists. All around attacking player now. Is at St. Bonaventure University, where he actually because, once again, with his great soccer and his outstanding grades, got a full ride to play soccer here. So congrats to him, and another great, product of Montgomery College and Coach Pedro.
Yeah, I believe he scored in his first match for St. Bonaventure.
Yeah, he has 3 goals in 3 games, or 3 and 4, so he's on a roll.
So they called the foul on the Raptors. Personally, I thought it could have gone either way there. But they did call it on Minhas for the Raptors. Frederick trying to get something going here, trying to get on the board.
Well, I think MC's kind of letting them into it a little bit. I think that MC's not controlling the ball, as I kind of mentioned that they should be trying to control the game. Instead, they're leaving a lot of balls up to chance, and it's allowing Frederick to almost I wouldn't say they're fully into the game, but, try and build their way. So I think MC needs to do a better job of holding on the ball. And
yeah,
they did a great job of that in the first half.
Yeah, but they're not really playing like they're winning, because they're up 2-0, but they're playing a little frantic right now. They're not holding on to the ball. They're allowing Frederick to, like you said, so get into the game. You got to play like they're winning.
Oh, here's a wild breakaway by Romberg. And did he get a call?
No call.
No call.
I will say I think Carl Romberg is doing a better job in the second half. I think he was a little quiet in the first half. And
he was.
Straight off the bat, in this first 10 minutes, he's already gotten a lot of touches and a good breakaway there. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to finish, but that just shows his abilities and why he's so special.
Yeah, that was quite a breakaway. He went through 3-4 players there. And he wanted that call in the box, which, of course, would have set up a PK. Raptors women's team did score their second goal of the day today on a PK. Natalie Zambrano buried it as they took the opener of our doubleheader 2-0.
I think, Sonia, you rated her as the man of the match today, yeah?
Yeah, she was my player of the match for sure. I got a chance to talk to her a little bit after the game. And turns out she is the younger sister of Ashley Zambrano, who also played here. Very, very talented player. You can tell. It's in the genes of the family.
I was wondering because when I saw that name, I instantly thought of Ashley. And, so they're...
Oh, you can't do that.
That's a silly yellow.
Yeah.
Who was that one on? Didn't catch which player was on, but another yellow card.
Another yellow for Frederick.
But yeah, Ashley played here for 2 years also.
All right, so that is on.
He already has a yellow card.
He already has a yellow, which should have. If it was 21. We're being told by our spotter that it was number 21, and if that's the case, that would be his second yellow, but he's still out there. So must have been somebody else. Not sure who. But regardless, that's another yellow.
They have to be out of players to give yellows to now. I mean, now we're like, wait, this guy has yellow already? They might all have yellows.
I mean, that's 6 yellows on Frederick. It might get chippy here. We hope not. Good look at number 4 for Frederick. Orozco. Daniel Minhas, number 21 for Frederick is Beatrice. And Ono with the corner. Ono also has the second goal of the match, a beautiful header.
Yeah, it seems to be a player down on Frederick.
There is.
Brian Sarr. I believe that's number 27.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's okay. Oh, tying his shoe.
Yep.
Just a little trickery. Trying to fool us.
Interesting moment to tie your shoe.
Yeah.
Catching his breath as well, perhaps. We're not casting aspersions. We're having a little debate on where the ball should be.
I always disliked when the ref would make you move the ball. Well, here on the turf it doesn't matter too much, but when you play on a grass field, sometimes there's little divots.
Yeah.
And you really want to put that ball a little higher up, and then they come over and make you change it. It's so frustrating.
Oh, beautiful shot of that. Ish with the header. You saw him score one of those earlier this season, didn't you, Andre?
Yeah, it was, I believe, it was in the Tom Bickey tournament.
Yes.
And I actually happened
against Harcum.
Yeah, against Harcum. I actually happened to catch that perfectly on my phone.
And that was the tying goal.
Yeah, it was a great header.
And it was near the end of the match.
Mm-hmm. It was.
So it was a pressurized situation off a corner. Let's take a look. Romberg battling, just has it knocked away, but it'll set up a corner.
He wants one. You can
Oh
tell.
yeah, he wants one badly.
He came out different this half.
He may have been challenged at the half.
Possibly.
Ono with the kick. That's something a little different. Oh boy, he had a lot on it, but it sailed high.
Yeah, that was definitely a design play. Mm-hmm. I know that for a fact because we used to run that same play. When they probably changed the number on it, but definitely designed.
I love all the variations that they come up with off the corners. It's just, it seems to be almost an endless possibilities of ways to attack that. I love corners. It's one of my favorite parts of the game because you see so many great goals coming off of corners.
Mm-hmm. It's a big part. Set pieces, corners, free kicks. Yeah, they're a big part of the game. Some people are actually specialists in these things as well. So.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And then you see great defensive plays, and the keeper is often making a terrific play off a corner, and it's one of the exciting plays. Always anticipation. So we're almost halfway through the second half. No score so far by either team in the second half. Raptors, of course, on top 2-0. Thanks to two early goals by Skinner and Ono. But we've had quite a dry spell here. Raptors would love a third. What were you telling me, Andre, that you're an old coach of yours used to tell you about leads? One?
Yeah, so old coach of mine used to always say, one goal, the other team's still in the game. 2 goals, you should probably win, but the other team still has a chance. If you're up by 3, there's no way you should lose the game. So with him saying that, it would always be the case where we'd say, you know what, we have to score at least 3 today, at least. Or at least you have to be up by 3.
Right.
What if you're up by 4 like PSG?
Oh, if you're up by 4, then you might as well just go home at that point, But
they ended up losing to Barcelona.
It's.
I think it was 4. Was it 4?
It was. It was actually 4, and then they tied it 4-4, and then they ended up losing the game. Yes, PSG seems to always fail in these situations. They do have a better team this year, but up by 2. it's good, but you're seeing, even right now, Frederick is putting on the pressure with MC, and they haven't had much of the ball throughout this game, so, or at least throughout this half. So with that being the case, it's like they need to recollect it. They need to get on possession. They need to swing it around. Make Frederick run. Make them frustrated again. On top of that, 15 of their players have yellow cards. Maybe 25 of them. I don't know. So with that being also the case, it's like let them get frustrated, and they're going to start kicking at the ankles and things like that, and then red cards are going to start coming in, and then that's when you're really going to take over the game.
Mara with now there's a boot.
That shit only hurts after.
Either team is, well, the Raptors the last couple of minutes have had some good
Great
opportunities.
touch.
Here's Romberg. Let's see what he can do. Oh, he gets tripped up. And he wants a call. There is no call. Oh, he wanted that one badly.
One of the defenders for Frederick is in a lot of pain. Number 4.
Oh, yeah, he's down.
Orozco.
And here comes Romberg.
I didn't see much there for a call.
No, I think that was a good call by the ref. Romberg wanted the call but didn't get it.
Oh, it's a cramp.
Ah.
Oh, those are the worst.
Yeah. Is that an apple? What's in Boland's hand? There's something in. What's he?
There
holding?
is something in his hand. It does look like an apple.
Oh, fruits are important.
It's an
It's
apple.
an apple. Wow. Fruits are.
You would think he would give him a banana for the potassium.
Yeah. Well, I just got a juicer, so the apple would actually come in handy.
I would use the apple to roll out my calf in this situation. Ouch.
Wait, did the coach bring the apple, or did he just have the apple? I didn't see that part. Oh. Wow.
It looked like a Granny Smith
It
from
was
this distance.
Granny Smith. Apple or tennis ball, but it looked more like an apple to me.
I saw the core. I mean the stem. So
Can you explain the Granny Smith to people who do not know what that is?
I don't know. It's a green apple that.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
It's
There
an
it
apple.
is.
Wait.
There it is, and then
Oh,
he
in a
puts
pocket.
puts it in the coach's
The old
pocket.
switcheroo.
I don't know. Maybe the green apple is the team mascot.
Yeah, maybe it's a good luck charm.
Good luck charm. A Granny Smith is one of those hybrid apples that was, and you got to be real careful with those apples when you buy them.
Oh
Because,
no! Don't tell me that.
oh yeah, because well, it has to be the right color of green.
Oh,
Otherwise,
okay.
it's not going to be juicy.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so if there's a little too much yellow, or if it's a little too dark, don't buy it.
I need the Granny Smith Guide by Michael B. That's what we're gonna call it.
I
Granny
thought you were
Smith by
gonna
Michael
say-
B.
I thought you were gonna say it was genetically modified. Or
Oh,
something.
I'm sure it is. I think quite a few of the apples that are in today's grocery stores are have been modified. I mean, when I was a kid, way back in the Stone Age, there were like 2 kinds of apples. Now there's, untold numbers.
Yeah, Granny Smith.
Really
Uncle
enjoying
Steve.
your material. Got some good jokes, Michael Bay.
Oh, that's a foul. Or not.
Corner kick. Just
Nathan Booth went down, and that'll set up a corner. Nathan is a freshman out of Einstein High School.
he's made an impact since he came in as well.
Yeah, he's had a good second half. I don't believe he played in the first half. I would assume it's going to be Ono again with the with the corner. It is. And one of the 2 goals for the Raptors. 24 minutes to go in the contest. There's a header. Close.
This always seems to get on the end of the headers.
He does. He loves those.
Ooh, good tackle by Joao, number 8.
He took that away.
That was good because Bolin tried to play quickly. They tried to go on a counter catch MC off guard, but they were able to deal with it.
Ooh, good hit.
Ooh,
Wow.
now that's probably their best opportunity.
That wasn't off by much.
Pressure's on, yeah. It seems like.
That was by Beatrice.
Yeah, it seems like you're seeing right here in the replay, Frederick's gaining some confidence. We've been mentioning it many times, but it's time for MC to get onto the ball, hold it, possess it. Let Frederick run.
Yeah, they are definitely, Raptors definitely not possessing it like they did in the first half. It was all Raptors. Probably easily 80 to 85% of the action took place in the Raptors' offensive end. So it's been a slightly different story in the second half, but the Raptors' defense has been up to the challenge, as has Thomas Morrow, the keeper. It'll be Raptors ball. I want to remind you that tomorrow night, or actually tomorrow afternoon at 4 p.m., MCTV will be back on the air with more Raptors athletics. We've got a volleyball match coming up tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock. The Raptors taking on the Monroe College Mustangs from Bronx, New York. It's going to be quite a challenge for the Raptors. The Mustangs, one of the top programs in the country. They went to nationals last year, but guess what? So did the Raptors. And then later in the season, we've got another Raptors men's match coming up for you on October the 6th. They'll be taking on Monroe Community College, not to be confused with Monroe College. Monroe Community College from New Jersey. And they played the Raptors last year in the district finals.
Yes.
And so that is going to be a heck of a rematch. The Raptors won that one 4-1 to advance to the national championship tournament. So, and then we've got another women's match coming up on October the 12th. The Raptors will be taking on the Catamounts from Potomac State. And that's always a good match. Sonia, I know you remember some tough matches against Potomac State. They're always they always give the Raptors a tough match.
Yeah, it's always a tough match, and a lot of times it was difficult when we had to go there because it's a long drive. Luckily, this one's at home, so it'll be better for MC.
Yeah, it's in West Virginia. Quite a trip for the Raptors. I mean, there are no shortage of tough trips in Maryland JUCO when you've got to go to Allegheny or up to Cecil, places like that. You can really travel. So we're under 20-minute mark now, and neither team has scored here in the second half. But again, Frederick has looked much better, and they've got something going here, but to no avail.
I think MC just needs to take a deep breath. I think, Dre, you said it best. We're not playing like we're winning, right? We almost look like we need a goal. Even one example, we had a throw in and they got the ball quickly and just threw it in immediately. It's like, I think it's time to take a deep breath. There's 20 minutes left. It's time to control the game, weather out this match.
Yeah. It's you can always tell by the type of play that you're playing. It's like, stop being so frantic. Act like you are. Act like you're the better team. Act like you're winning. Act like you've been there. These are times that they should just knock it around, and they should just be literally like standing around just knocking it
and controlling it.
Exactly.
I mean, they are winning, and they're dominating the scoreboard. And if they can take you guys' advice and score again, they'll have this one wrapped up.
Yeah, one more goal would deflate Frederick for sure.
Oh, I think you're right, particularly the way Frederick has played this second half. As both of you have mentioned, they're playing with more confidence. And a Raptors goal would really take the air out of that.
Oh, that's a tough one.
It's been a very physical match, which we expected. And Pedro Braz is in agreement with you, Andre. Look at the look he's giving the official.
That's a great shot.
I love that shot.
The look says it all.
Yep, he didn't have to say a word. He did it all non-verbally. It was beautiful. There's a good look at Ish. Graywall Singh, the one of the captains for the Raptors. Really a nice guy. I had a chance to talk to him a little bit when I was out here a few weeks ago, and very impressive. Oh, that was dangerous, but they couldn't convert. Thing I've noticed, the Raptors really controlled midfield in the first half.
They did.
And they're not doing that to that extent in the second half.
You can see every time that they're giving the ball, they're the ones making the mistakes. They're giving the ball back to Frederick. There's times when they just want to continue going forward, when it's okay to play a possession pass backwards. But
another shot by Romberg comes up empty as Bolin with a good stop. Romberg is very hungry for a goal. He's from Germany.
A lot of good soccer played over there in Germany.
Ooh, that is for sure. Raptor down. Oh, nice takeaway by Minhas. Oh no, and he's just wide. Just wide. Minhas took it away, fed Ono beautifully, but shot sailed wide. Let's take a look.
He tried to open his hips, use that right foot. Left-footed shot might have been better there. Back to the back post, that left foot. Better. That would have been easier on a technique than having to open your hips.
that's because you're left-footed.
But still, think about it. The ball's coming, that through ball to the diagonal like that. He has to open his hips up, right? He's opening them, and he's trying to bend it to the back post, rather than maybe just using that left and just pinging it back post.
Maybe.
Right, as the right footer says, maybe, and the left footer says, take it with the left.
And Booth has it knocked out, but that'll set up a corner for the Raptors. Nathan Booth wanted that one. Ono will take the corner again. Raptors, he's in no hurry to get over there. Crowd is anxious for a score. Good turnout tonight. Great to see. Something special about nighttime soccer. Nothing doing there. The Thought the Raptors had retained possession. Not quite. Here they come.
Good ball.
Romberg with a great through ball. There's the shot. Oh my gosh. Minhas wanted that one back. What a great pass.
Was it offside?
We need to see that one again.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. First of all, that pass
Here it
by
comes.
Carl was this pass.
There's
oh
Romberg's.
my.
Look at that pass right on the foot.
Oh.
Less than a foot off the mark. It almost scraped the top bar. Oh, 2 close ones in a row for the Raptors. Either one of those would have probably put this one to bed. And Bolin was totally defenseless on that one for in goal.
Yeah. That's probably the worst situation to be in as a goalie, a one-on-one, when basically there's, it's onside.
Yeah.
The attacker is just coming right at you. I mean, what are you supposed to do?
Ooh, that was close.
Raptors really want goal number 3. There's a whistle. And we get another card? No. The cards have quieted down somewhat here in the second half. We had a flurry in the first half.
Yeah, it was a lot more than I've seen in a while.
That's for sure. All right, so they call the foul. Who's going to take the kick? It'll either be Guevara or Romberg. Romberg takes it, and it's high. Right on.
With Bolin's stats and how great of a goalkeeper he's been, I think that's a little ambitious from that distance. But
No, Bolin's been, as we mentioned earlier, he is among the lead leaders. He's first in Maryland JUCO in goals against average and save percentage.
Wow.
So, and he's just a freshman.
I'm calling that he's going to be captain next year, if he's not already. Another.
Romberg has spent a fair amount of time on the turf in the second half. And a lot of that is because he's been aggressively going after a goal. I see a yellow card out, and that's on number 5, Coleman.
Which means that's his second, and that's a red card.
Yeah. So that's a red on Coleman, or effectively a red.
Yeah, this is going to start to be the situation in the second half with all the yellow cards in the first half.
So he is disqualified from the match. It also means he will not be able to play in Frederick's next match. And Frederick now shorthanded. So advantage Raptors in just about every way imaginable, not just on the scoreboard. And boy, that was close. I'm not sure what's going on there. Just a little
corner kick.
I'm talking about between Booth and number 28, Jaden White. Little bumper car action there.
That's what happens in the box in corner kicks, free kicks.
Yeah, a lot more pushing and shoving than you think.
And number 33 is checked in for the Raptors, but we do not have him on our roster.
Amadou.
Oh, is that Amadou Koita?
Yes.
So they have given him a new number. Okay. So he is now number 33. Thank you, Andre.
I think now is a moment where I know that when you're young and you just want to keep scoring, that's obviously the most appealing decision to make. But I think now that MC's up one man, it's the time to kill the game off. There's less than 10 minutes. Possess the ball. They're doing a good job of that now. And
yeah,
I think if you continue to attack frantically, it's only going to allow Frederick to get some opportunities.
Yeah.
But
which could turn out to be a score. So, no, I'm with you. I think what they're doing right now is perfect.
That's better, yeah.
You know, if something opens up like this. Oh, Minhas with the left foot and Boland with a great save. Boy, Minhas has had several really excellent opportunities here in the second half. He's played very well.
Big impact for sure.
Yeah. It would be tough to pick a player of the game. Of course, we've still got almost 8 minutes to go, but I would have a hard time picking a player of the game right now for the Raptors.
Yeah, I may have to wait a couple more minutes.
And that time, Minhas scores.
There it is.
So he finally found the back of the net as Daniel Minhas puts the Raptors up 3-0.
Is that an assist by Romberg?
Yes, and that's Minhas' second goal of the season. He's got 2 assists to go along with that. Here we go. No, that is Tessalimi with the assist.
Freshman from Canada.
Oh, that was pretty. That was
a
pretty.
great play.
That was really nice.
That assist was gorgeous.
Well, I'm going to take my words back then. Well, they got a goal. Now I think that's game over.
Yeah, that should be game over.
Down a man.
Down a man, up 3, 7.5 minutes to go. You know, nothing's impossible, but this is approaching that point. Something tells me Carl Romberg would like to make it 4-0.
Oh, yeah.
Big time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, can't imagine being, first in the nation in points and goals. I would be thinking every day, like, man, I need to,
yeah.
Every game I need to add at least 1. I need to keep that.
Yeah.
I need to keep that.
It's not easy,
as
we've seen. There's Minhas again. And, he almost put another one in there.
We may see another goal, and the Raptors are averaging four goals per game, correct? So
yes,
that would make sense.
Yes, they are averaging an even 4 goals per match while giving up 1.56. Boy, Minhas has been just peppering Boland in the net.
Yeah, he's having a great game. I think, to me, he's up there on the man of the match list.
Well, he's got one of the 3 goals.
He's gonna spark every single time he touches the ball as well. So.
Now they're kind of, well, they're going to look for opportunities. Tessalimi.
Back in the middle.
No, that was very dangerous. Minhas.
Oh.
He wants more.
He wants more. Hey, he's a soccer player. I like the Raptors jerseys.
Yeah, they're nice.
It's a nice kit. Nice uniform.
Romberg just got subbed out, so I don't think he's going to be able to tally another goal.
No, looks like he's going to have to be content with the 14 goals so far this season. There's no way he's going to put him back in now with 5 minutes to go. Why risk it?
Yeah, we got a bunch of games coming up.
And the Raptors have a deep bench. I mean, it's time to give everybody some action, get some minutes. There's Ono. He's had quite a game. And there's an easy one. They went up for it. And that is number 20, Padrilla. And that should do it.
Gets them to their 4
I
goals.
don't know, Michael. There's still 4 minutes left.
So Tessalimi, it went up. Nobody came down with it, and Padrilla said, "Okay, let me just pop it in there." Andreas Padrilla, and you will enjoy this, Sonia. He is from Columbia.
Ah, there you go.
There you go.
So I guess the flags aren't descriptive of who the players.
No, they don't have enough flags over
I
there.
see.
So the Raptors comfortably on top, 4-0.
Four minutes.
Yeah, this is. Ooh. Okay. That was a good layoff. Good cross? Nope. Put it back. Cross in and a clearance.
I'll tell you once another one is Minhas.
Yeah.
As aggressive as he's played this second half. Been a real spark plug. Good look at Jason Guevara.
He had a really good first half.
He
Enjoyed
did.
watching him.
He has a clinical left foot. Nice to see.
Yeah, he's fast.
Oh.
There's a takeaway.
In the back. There you go.
New Chang, Brian New Chang, one of the captains for the Raptors. Calmly controlling it. Oh, he's loving this.
Well done, Brian.
Beautiful job by New Chang. He's staying in it. He said, I came all this way. I'm going to hang around for a while.
Oh, yeah. This is a far run back, so I'm like, hey, I'm up here for a little.
Yeah.
Another foul.
Yeah, Brian.
Number 28, Jaden White picks that foul up. Jaden White is from Juneau, Alaska.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He went to Thunder Mountain High School.
Wow.
Sounds like a fun place.
I'm sure it's a thriving metropolis. But when I was doing my research, I'm thinking Thunder Mountain High School. Now that is cool. I mean, with a name like that, you don't even need a nickname.
That sounds like a high school in a movie or something.
I know. Thunder Mountain. I wonder what their mascot was. But it was something like the Timberwolves.
Yeah, or Mountaineer.
Mountaineers, or something like that.
Sabertooth.
How he got from Juneau to Frederick, one never knows.
Hey, I mean, it's players from Japan
Yeah.
here and Australia, and so
Italy,
Peru,
France, Colombia.
So it doesn't seem to be too far.
All right, we are under a minute, and the Raptors have this one well in hand. Been a great night here on the Rockville campus of Montgomery College. It's been great work by our MCTV production crew. They're just the greatest people ever, and so good at what they do. It's just a pleasure to be asked back to work with them, and just a tremendous pleasure. And we are, and that is the end of the match as the Raptors take this one 4-0. They scored 2 goals in the first half, 2 goals in the second. Goals by Oliver Skinner, Yoshiki Ono, Daniel Minhas, and Andres Padrilla. And with the win, the Raptors move to 7-2-1 on the season, 7-1 in Maryland JUCO. And Sonia, great night for the Raptors.
Yeah, great night. 0 goals against, 6 goals if we include the women's game in favor. So that's a great night for the Raptors.
Andre?
Yeah, Raptors sweep, exactly what they want. It was an exciting game. Both games were great. On to the next one.
On to the next one is right. And as Sonia mentioned, the Raptor women won their won the opener tonight, 2-0 over the Cougars on goals by Zambrano and Sartor. So a complete sweep tonight for the Raptors. We could talk about player of the game. There's a ton of them for the Raptors. I'm not going to put you guys on the spot, but suffice to say, a great night for the Raptors. They sweep the doubleheader from Frederick. And just one quick reminder before we say goodnight. Tomorrow, coming to you at 4 o'clock, MCTV will have more Montgomery College Raptors athletic action with a women's volleyball game. The Raptors taking on Monroe College tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock. So we'd love to have you back for that. I'll be here. Andre will be here. And so for my partners, Sonia Rana, Andre Anderson, and everybody on the MCTV production team, thank you so much for watching Raptors Soccer on MCTV.
You on my mind a lot. Don't need no time, watch. I don't know how I got you in my pocket spot. Yeah, that's babe, need you every day. You like my oxygen. Make it seem like the barging down. Got my heart, no barging in. From the bed to the floor to the couch. Might wake the neighbors up. Break you in, then break you out. In the end, we gon' make a child. Then we gon' hit the show. Part 2, we don't need no pause. Here with Misty, we gon' get tipsy. Don't need a power shot.
Copy my steel. Face the fact that ain't no cap, I'm real. Ain't no cap, I'm real. The plastic bars from a copy my steel. Copy my steel. Face the the fact that ain't no cap, I'm real. Ain't no cap, I'm real. The plastic bars when I copy my steel.
Got my heart no in the bed. Break you in, then get us every day. Got my heart no in the bed. Break you in, then